The following is a presentation of MRE UNO Division 2. Hello everyone and welcome to Mahjong March here on MRE UNO Division 2. The Haneman 16 will kick off today here, and we have our first match of the round, and it is going to be a first-time matchup in MRE, but one that has happened before in other leagues. It is going to be number 2 seed Baiman taking on number 11 seed Gabriel. Baiman off to a very strong start this season, already up to 6 victories on the year with the Final Four run in February, and now having another good run here in March. We'll see if he can make it the back-to-back regional finals here and really put himself in a great position for the back half of the season. And he goes up against Gabriel, who's on his first strong run here. Gabriel has had struggled a little bit out the gates in MRE, but this tournament has really been where things have clicked, and he has notched 2 very impressive wins back to back so far in this tournament here, and makes it on to the regional finals here, where he is looking to be one of very few 11 seeds to make it to the regional finals. It's not been a very historically great seed line, but Gabriel looking to try and correct the course on that one, make the regional finals, and maybe even be the first 11 seed to make a Final Four. The only one to have not made a Final Four in any division, I believe, to this point. So we'll see how this goes. Gonna go to the bracket here, and before we start with just kind of breaking this down, I do want to give my best wishes to TK. Unfortunate situation with that one. Won't go into specifics on what happened on the stream here, but we're hoping that TK ends up being all right and can be safe and sound. Best wishes out to everyone with his family and friends, as that's a very scary situation with that. We're all wishing him the best. Unfortunately, had to withdraw from this tournament here due to the circumstances. So Cage technically already in the regional finals here, but not the circumstances you want to see that happen. But in terms of the matchup coming up, though, moving to what we have now. Baiman and Gabriel. Baiman beat Faye and Dan so far. Actually, Baiman had the reverse sweep Dan to make it here, so has still stayed very resilient even with a deficit here. And then Gabriel actually had to prevent a reverse sweep in the last round against Limestick, was up 3-0, and then Limestick nearly brought that one back, but Gabriel shut it down. So both technically coming off reverse sweeps in different ways, but for now, both hoping to try and get the win here and get it done. And for the first round, Gabriel also beat Emmy as well. That one also in 7. Gabriel has been in all game 7 so far this season, which is a bit bizarre. We'll see if this one goes 7. That'd be a bit of a interesting trend to keep up. But if Baiman can win, that's going to mean the regional finals for the West Wind Regional is going to be technically a chalk regional final here, as it's going to be 1v2. So it's only happened a few times, but it actually has been happening a little bit more recently. Because it happened last season in Tournament 3 for Division 2, and it actually happened recently in Tournament 1 for Division 1. So it's happening a few more times more recently. So if Baiman can win, that'll be another 1v2 in the regional finals here. And that'd be also 2 players who make back-to-back regional finals. Cage made the regional finals in February, so that's going to be great starts for both players, no matter who wins that one. But obviously, got to play this match first, and Gabriel looking to spoil the party on that one and be one of the few 11 seeds to make it to a regional finals, and then make it triple ones in that one with the 1v11. All right, well, with the bracket preview out of the way, we will get to the board here. You'll see I have some pre-typed questions. Both are going to be out of the VC for this moment here, but in the VC with me right now is going to be Aiko, who is going to be on the call for this one. Welcome. Going to be a battle of 2 international players here, New Zealand versus Brazil. Definitely a very different dynamic in terms of geographical position on that one, but for both also kind of in different spots. Gabriel did not quite get the start he wanted in February. Dilemma got a fantastic start in February and is continuing in March. Gabriel kind of getting it going in March here, but I mentioned before these two have had an encounter before in Myths, and Dilemma ended up walking away with the victory in that one. So not the first time ever that these players have faced off against each other, especially in a best of seven. But kind of just your thoughts heading into this match, what you're kind of seeing from both players in their run so far, and any kind of key takeaways you have heading into this one that might be key factors in this match.
Yeah, I mean, this is a match that is loaded with storylines. You've got two players fighting to keep their country kind of in the tournament here. You've got Dilemon, who's coming off of a Final Four appearance. You've got Gabriel, who got knocked out early, is that infamous 11 seed, had a nice early win against Emmy, and is actually has a comparable storyline here to Skylar, to Sky here, of always going to the last game in the set. And if that continues, well, I mean, that also got Sky to the Final Four and could mean that, the momentum's maybe more in Gabriel's favor here. I'm really interested in seeing what both these players have to bring. Dilemon definitely has the track record overall, has just been consistent between T1, between myths, between all kinds of places, has a fantastic track record in the game of Uno. Gabriel, I don't know as much, and like you said, actually has a loss against Lemon in myths. So we'll have to see if that kind of gets turned around here and if Gabriel can triumph.
Right, we will see. We're gonna see how that one plays out, but again, it's gonna be interesting to see how the second go around for these two will go with a bit of a different rule set since it is a different league here. We just sent the questions for both players here. Gonna see what they have to respond. I'll read them off here while both are typing. Dilemma, you're off to a strong start this season, already up to 6 wins so far. Looking to make it back-to-back regional finals and potentially Final Fours. Now go up against a player you're familiar with, but it's also gone a bit of a hot streak. What do you feel is going to be the key to getting another win in this one and making it back to the regional finals? And then for Gabriel, has been your first tournament that you've been able to rally a bit, and now go up against someone you've been looking to beat for a bit. You also been nonstop game seven so far. What kind of edge do you believe you might have that could get yourself past them and make it to the regional finals? So we got Gabriel's answer here. We'll read that one off first. Learn to not panic under pressure, and the way I kept resisting and preventing the opponents from making a comeback in the last 2 rounds has been helping me a lot here. And I really hope I can make a little history and face my first ever one seed in Uno. And yes, I believe that would be true. I don't think Gabriel has ever faced a one seed in a region, myths included. That one's a bit of a bigger tournament though. There's like 8 1 seeds in that one. So a little bit of a smaller pool here, but still gonna be looking to do that. But both of us have not had easy paths to get here. And yeah, I mean, definitely you could say that in terms of the matches itself. I mean, bracket seed wise, maybe not so much, but I mean, some of those matches were pretty close. Faye was actually on a bit of a streak in that round of 64 match. Emmy 6v11 was pretty competitive in that one, had a bit of a card disadvantage in that as well. And brought that to 7. And then Lime, as I mentioned before, Limestick and Um, Dan getting up 3-0 into Lemon. Gabriel having to fend off a hard charging Limestick who was bringing it back. So both on the table have had pretty tough pass to get here. So we'll see who will win this clash. But for Dilemma, I will say endurance and patience will be the key today. As shown in the past 2 games at T2, I managed to stay calm and bounce back after being down both times. I think that's a thing to mention also, Aiko, because I mean, Dilemma definitely is one of the players who has one of the slower styles in the league. We've seen that in his run in February, including his Final Four match, which definitely went quite a while. So I would expect that to be a factor heading into this one. Your thoughts on that before we begin?
Yeah, I mean, I think, pretty clear to say that especially that Final Four match gained a little bit of infamy in how slow Delennon did choose to play there. But regardless of, Delennon's play style, I would say, yeah, I absolutely agree with this. Endurance and patience are the key in so many matches. And it really kind of can speak to, obviously cards can just go one way or the other, and that'll be that if it is. But I think those are two of the really important skills to have, of knowing when to kind of not give up and also when to really take hold of the reins and just charge forward and recognizing that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this pace is gonna affect things, but we're gonna get things rolling here. Scars will be the ref for this one. Gabriel, jumping the gun a little bit with the call, but Dilemma's gonna have the game one call here. We'll see what he decides to go with. But yeah, Scar's gonna ref this one, and we'll see who ends up coming out on top. This is gonna be again best of 7-1 power play. Last round of best of 7-1 power play regional finals beyond regional finals. And final four will be best of 9, and then the finale will be best of 11. So I'm gonna start with 9 here, and then we'll get this rolling on the blue one.
Solid middle of the road card start. Can't blame that.
All right, so Dilemma like in the middle here. Again, the Dilemma definitely is one of the players who plays at a slower pace. Kind of looking at his season total here so far. I could pull it up. Yeah, one of the longest average game lengths in the division and even the league itself. He's averaging around 11 minutes per game, so is one of the highest there. Only a few people are a bit higher, such as I think Orochi and Goal. Those are the only other two who are higher that have more than like 3 games. So we're gonna have to see how this slower pace is gonna play a factor because Dilemma by the numbers is definitely one of the players who definitely is in longer games more or less as some of this is also just kind of taking a second to look through the cards at the start here as he's gonna get a rolling on a double play on the blue.
Yeah, that I will say something to also note is the fact that Dilemon has significantly more games over these players. Goal and Orochi both uh were debutantes in T1 of this season, if I remember correctly. Um they both went out round of 32 and round of 16, to me, funnily enough. Whereas, just in T1, Dilemon made it all the way to the final four and has now had a couple more games on top of that, as well as a T4 performance from the prior season. So that's twice as many games, even on top of that. And if you're even close to their totals there, I feel like that's, speaks to a lot more consistency in the slow play.
Yeah, we just saw Gabriel go on a 4 card run here, so already kind of going down low, but he's gonna have to draw on this red here, which is gonna allow Dilemma to try to bring this back a little bit.
Yeah, interesting that we're switching out of blue here so fast. I wonder if Gabriel really just was out on both red and blue there, other than that chain, because we saw Dilemon start to draw there, and I assume we would hopefully take advantage of that if we had more blue.
All right,
So it
so
really makes you wonder
Dilemma's
if we've
out,
got
so
just
is
a great.
Gabriel. All right, Draw City keeps on going here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be kind of one of those cases where the game kind of just gets stalled out a little bit, both just kind of trying to build up the hand. Gabriel does have a lead at the moment here, and he's actually gonna use a wild switch in the green.
Yeah, I assume this is probably just a top deck. Maybe we held on to it for some reason, but I am doubtful that we'd keep on to it for that long, especially when we were that low down in cards.
Could have had not had the lineup for the finish. Could have had 2 different colors. I see that as a
This is
possibility, but
true.
double play on the green here. Going to go down to 3. All right.
Green 5. And we're out again. Wonder if we were hoping to use that 4 to switch, maybe? I am not sure.
Possibly. We do get the switch right there, which actually I think might line up better for Gabriel here, but that one extra draw could throw things off.
Could. Or, given this type, Very well could have made things even better.
He's got the double play there. Down to 2. Gabriel Dilemma back up to 8. Dilemma is going to take a bit to think what he's going to want to do next year because he is behind. He has been a bit behind to start this opening game here, but sometimes
Yeah.
that's kind of the way he goes, where he's behind and then just kind of sneaks up and finds a way around the opponent and gets the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, down to 2 cards for your opponent, that is the critical point where you really need to think, okay, do I need to force them to draw if I can? Do I need to draw? Do I need to change the color? And hope that they don't have a draw 4 to just go out with.
Ooh,
And Lemon's gonna have one of his own, change it to blue.
that's going to tie it up. Probably going to end up being more defensive here. We'll see how Gabriel will respond. She's going to draw.
Gonna have draw.
Yeah, so I mean, if Dilemma can keep running this is going to work out very, very well for him for the moment. Because not only did Gabriel not have any blue, he didn't have any blue from the 4 additional cards he drew.
Yeah, which is just a little
Oh,
bit of bad
man.
luck, and that's gonna be 2 draw 2s for another +6. And suddenly, the tides have turned pretty severely here. We went from a 2-8 deficit to a 3-13 the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, he's thrown 10 cards Gabriel's way, and then he drew another one as well. So, I mean, a bit risky in terms of how much Gabriel could get here. He could also have gotten nothing. But Dilemma definitely going for some offense here to try and close this one out. But Gabriel might have a response here. We will see.
I was gonna
All
say
right.
has a red skip into a draw 4 for a triple play, and that'll push him back a little bit. And
Dilemma's still going to have the
still three
lead,
cards
though.
back, though.
Hmm.
Not to mention 3 cards behind, and could have just given Dilemon some ammo to push even further out.
All right, well, we shall see. We'll see what Dilemma decides to do here, because I think the +4 could have definitely altered what he was trying to do. So kind of taking a second to regroup here.
Typing. Just a yellow 7.
Yeah. I mean, I think for Dilemma, that's just kind of being able to hold it on yellow for now might not be so bad. I don't know if he hasn't had an option for a switch or something like that, but I mean, if he has a few yellows, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing. Just kind of keep going on this.
Yeah, I think that's probably, this is pretty far away to be making any big strides now if we have much ammo. So yeah, I think we can probably just run this down a couple number cards, see what happens.
Yellow reverse might have a. Okay, I was about to say could have a switch out, but no, he's just gonna do a double play there. And Gabriel gonna switch it to blue.
Yeah. Got at least one off of that +6 and the individual draw there back when it was the blue 8 before. But
Yeah, I think a good call from
Lemons gonna
Gabriel there.
yeah, I was gonna say I kind of figured that, what does Lemon have there usually? Like at most, maybe 1 or 2 blues, but with that switch out on the draw 2 chain, it really makes sense to switch to blue here when you get the opportunity. And Gabriel's gonna absolutely take advantage of that here.
Probably gonna tie it here, if not take the lead on this next play. He's typing a bit, so maybe a double. No, it's gonna be a switch to the green, so that will tie it.
We'll tie it, but it does leave Lemon first to play after switching off of that blue where he was iced.
Oh, that is not the play he wants to
Oh,
do there. That's a mistype on that one. I'm wondering if it's actually a blue 9. If not, that is
yeah.
a...
Or if it's a green 4, that could be.
No, it's a green 3. It's not even that.
That's
Wow, that is a...
technically that's technically typoable, but that's a pretty severe typo to miss both your color and your number by one.
That is not good. And that, based off the draws, that might have been a top deck there. So that could be problematic.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is really wait to see if a blue 4 does get played from lemon to no, but that is pretty dicey to reveal your hand there.
Yeah, because I mean, based off how this is going, I would not be surprised if Gabriel does not have any more blues here. So it would require either a wild or a switch on a 4 here. It gets... No, that's another mistype. That's another typo, except he doesn't have a blue 2.
Yeah, I think this is just gonna be a ditto. Oh,
Yeah, Dilemon is now
and
suddenly all
okay.
out of sorts here. And there's the green 2. Again,
The very
self-ditto.
card, I was wondering if it could have been that Dilemon was typoing, shooting a little bit lower than the G key, but yeah, what is... Thanks, Scars, thanks, Scars.
Okay, Dilemma might have a little bit of life here. That top deck green may have saved him from potential switch.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, at least he brought it back to Draw City, and they're both, tied here. But that got a little scary there for a second. Gonna even self-ditto with it.
Yeah, this isn't going to do much here. It's going to be another draw from Dilemma unless someone was saving something, which, yeah, no. Going to require a different kind of number here to get off green here, unless we get a top deck on a yellow, red, or blue, or we get a wild that works too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think it's at the point where it's game deciding, but I'm starting to understand the comment about patience and endurance with these draw cities if they keep up.
Yeah, I mean it's also just kind of staying composed here. And I mean we saw Dilemma make a mistake midway through with the blue 4. So that's still stuck in his hand. Gabriel's gonna throw 2 more cards this way on the red though, including his own card. So Dilemma back up to 8, Gabriel at 5. Says thanks. May have been a okay, no. It's probably just just placing down the card there, but we'll have to see what comes out of that +2. Switches the yellow though for now.
Yeah, we haven't touched yellow in a while. It is our least recently played color here, so I expect at least a couple cards, hopefully, to come out of both of these players.
Alright, yellow 5 here. Do we see like a something similar to what Gabriel's been doing, where it's just kind of like you throw a double play +2 from Dilemon? We'll have to see. Gonna just run with numbers for now on the yellow.
Yeah, but there's a slight problem if you just run it with numbers. If your opponent can just run it with numbers too, you're not going to get there first. So Dilemma may need a plan to switch things up here.
Yeah, we'll see if he's gonna stay with the yellow here. I think he's trying to challenge that Gabriel cannot finish on yellow, and he cannot.
Good challenge.
Now what does Dilemma do here with Gabriel drawing? Switch it to blue, so that's
Oh,
gonna...
it's
Okay, so that's gonna free up the blue 4 here, probably the next turn, unless Gabriel has a switch out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's just really lucky timing there because I imagine, given that draw there, you probably aren't going to switch colors off if you think your opponent's iced. So, yeah, that just looks like it worked really well for Lemon.
This is the slight issue. Yeah, there's the blue four, but the slight issue now
There it
is if
is.
Gabriel had something he can use the benefit off this. It's kind of like where the negative side of the expose happens. So we'll see. And yeah, there you go.
Oh boy. And right back into where Gabriel was playing from before, and where Lemon switched off of, even. So this could be a nice.
Yeah, Gabriel down the two here, Dilemma down the three, so both are pretty low. We're past 15 minutes in game one. Dilemma, I'm not really sure what he has here. I mean, technically, there's always the possibility that he just has that lineup, and there's still two plus fours left, two wilds. There's a few. There's only a skip
Yeah, but
left
I
on
mean,
the ammo for red.
thing is, we're also only a little over halfway through the deck here, so it's very much possible so many of these cards could still be buried. Um, so I'm very curious to see what Lemon's going forward with here. Because I imagine we're probably, yeah, okay.
He does have a wild, goes in the green, and
I was gonna
Gabriel
say, I
draws.
assumed, oh boy. I assumed we had something to play there because I figure if you're, you're just out there, you're just out and you're gonna draw.
Wow, and
But
that's it.
yeah, I bet you was thinking about potentially firing off the power play even um with that green wild. But yeah, I mean, Gabriel has nothing to play, and nothing's gonna stop that chain.
Uh, I mean, that technically wasn't a top deck. That one, it might. I mean, it could have been drawn at some point, but that technically wasn't a top deck. Um, uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of doubting it was. The last time that Lemon drew there was off of the draw too. No, I think the only top deck wild was the first green wild from Gabriel.
so we got the wild from the plus four. Yeah, because I was about to say. I mean, that wasn't the top deck because the lemon didn't draw in the prior turn, let alone the last two turns. So it wasn't quite a top deck there. Said he got it from the plus four, so that was like a decent wild back.
Yeah,
Yeah, right here. Um, the 513 at the 513 mark. So a little while back on that one there. Held on to it for a bit.
yeah. I mean, and that's definitely that's the Lemon style. I mean, it's a lot of player style to hold on to things for a while, but like I feel like Lemon is very much one of those players who are of the school of holding on to stuff for as long as possible. You know, especially when they're as powerful as a wild that can really give you control over what's going on in the game.
All right, so Dilemma actually looking back at the chat, before making that decision, wanted to see what the risk score with the green wild there, so went back in chat and saw that he had drawn last time. It was in green before using a wild to get out. So yeah, I think for Dilemma, the big dilemma there was he didn't want to have it be a situation where he plays the wild green that actually allows Gabriel to get the win right there, kind of with a two-card finish similar to that. So I think that was kind of the big holdup on that. But so we just kind of wanted to check to make sure result clear the go on that one, and ends up resulting in getting the win with a pretty close game one here that goes about 16 minutes. So I think Dilemma definitely taking control of the pace early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was kind of just Standard class play there from both. I think they really just kind of gave you what to expect from their play styles, and that was a great game to kind of show it off. Will kind of just be a matter of time to see who takes advantage of whose play.
All right, 12 cards for game 2 here. Dilemma looking to make it 2-0. Gonna start with the green reverse this time, which is ironically the card we ended the last game with, so we're kind of picking off where we left off.
You know, Uno's really just all one collective game if you think about it. Don't think about it, I'm wrong. But yeah, we'll see what Lemon starts with here.
Yeah. Ironic, this is kind of a little irrelevant, but like if the games, the starting card for the games actually made it where it ended on the prior start, I actually think that could create
I
some
was
interesting strategy, potentially with how you finish. I don't think that's something
yeah,
we'd ever
absolutely.
incorporate, but um,
Because it kind of just becomes do you make sure you end on a wild on your turn or when you're the next start so you can take advantage of that, or do you make sure that if your opponent's starting next you just land on a number card so you can hopefully just give them a dud.
all right. Well, Dilemma actually gonna draw off the start here. Gabriel gonna go with a double play. So yeah, I think Dilemma looking to get out of the screen early. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
most likely. That's if that is a true draw out on green there and drawing at the start. That's honestly just really unfortunate for Dilemma there.
We're gonna cross over the red from Gabriel here, so looking to take early control.
Will we get a rainbow? No rainbows today. Just a red one.
Oh, we get the not technically a rainbow,
Delayed
but it comes
rainbow.
slightly too late on that one. That one does not count though.
We'll get them next time.
Yeah, but Dilemma's just kind of playing follow the leader on the colors right now. Like Gabriel just kind of been switching a bit. Gonna have a diddle play there on that one though with the blue 3.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I feel like both players are kind of putting out feelers in their own way. Gabriel switching the colors as much um, as he is versus Lemon just kind of following along, seeing how Gabriel's going to play off of each of these cards by staying in color. And actually, it looks like playing the follow leader strat is working pretty well because Gabriel's iced himself on blue.
And Dilemma actually gonna switch. I mean, I've seen a few times where Dilemma actually kind of has the I guess a bit of a chokehold on the color where the opponent draws, but then he's going to immediately switch out of it. I mean, it's for me, this kind of just feels like something where it's that's not staying on this forever is not really going to benefit me, but it's something I could take note of later.
Yeah, definitely wondering if the strategy there is maybe Lemon has more blue cards and is planning to take advantage of that later. I I feel like that's a little bit scary if that is the plan. I mean, if we're just out of blue there too as well, then that's just that. But, it's a little tough to say because you're holding on to blue there. Your opponent's probably not going to give you many opportunities to go back that easily. So we'll have to wait and see if that opportunity comes up.
All right, run the yellow here. Gabriel able to kind of keep this going. Down to 4. Tillman not too far behind though at 6, now 5. Yeah, this is kind of where I feel like for Dilemma, gotta look to see what your options are and plan out your finish from there if you have one, or what you got to do to prevent the finish.
Yeah, definitely. It is getting into low territory. Yeah, Lemon's gonna respond here.
Taking a second to type, might be just kind of looking through, kind of check his options. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a switch here. Yellow skip, yellow skip. Is this a finish?
Very well could be. Either
Could that
way,
be?
even if it isn't, if this is not a draw here, that will put Lemon in the lead.
Switch back
Down to
into
two.
blue. Gabriel's going to power play.
Blocks.
I think that's going to be a good use here if Gabriel has the win right away. Green wild, so it goes back in the green.
Okay.
Or goes into green. We weren't on green.
Yeah, but I mean, that's honestly, I really like this. If you have a chain out on the screen, oh,
Oh, man. I think that was actually the draw
that's
for the
just so
power play.
unlucky. Oh, could that be? That's terrible luck if that is. I was almost thinking that that was just you know, yeah, that's probably not a stray card for Lemon there if you're starting those skips for that chain out. That's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that was actually the card Dilemma drew off the power play there. So Gabriel getting unlucky on that one. And
Yeah.
Dilemma's gonna draw though, so Gabriel's still in an okay spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I know what our post game question for Dilemma is here. But Gabriel's out too. And I kind of wonder here. I mean, we probably did block a finish with our power play there, but at the same time, what is our path out
Oh.
now?
Okay, so we're actually going back to blue here, um, which is where Dilemma originally was looking to maybe finish this. Um, Running it down. I gotta wonder if maybe Dilemma was only get the Uno here. Gabriel's gonna have to draw here, which I think that switch might have been a bit too preemptive if Dilemma can run this.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Oh,
Oh, no.
well, that just did not work out at all for Gabriel there. Oh, he does
Yeah,
this.
I
Well, he
mean,
does the same there as Dilemma did earlier with the +2 in the draw.
these open draw twos, these players are making me nervous. Because
I mean,
I mean,
both.
they're the only two draw twos played in the entire game so far, so it is all too easy for that to get punished.
Dilemma does not have anything, it seems, but I think for both, it's just kind of playing more defensive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what's more defensive than forcing draw city?
Yeah. I'm kind of as this draw city's going, I kind of want to look back at the play a little replay, I guess, with that power play there, because I mean, Dilemma was typing that pretty slowly. I mean, yellow skip, and then just had left the blue skip on its own. I'm wondering if maybe he was trying to bait Gabriel into doing a defensive power play there. May not have had a direct finish at that moment.
That's kind of my wonder as well, because, you know, if you're trying to avoid going down to one card all in one command, why don't you just go yellow skip, and blue skip all together in one command, and then two at the end? It very much felt like you throw out two to put some pressure on, and then you throw one more to keep it moving a little bit slowly. Be like, all right, you want a power play now? And could very well be that, Lemon just had those three skips and was waiting for that exact moment like you talked about. And if it really was that, that's truly just incredible reading of your opponent there.
All right. Well, we did get a switch to red because Dilemma played the yellow reverse and left it open, which allowed Gabriel to do the red reverse. So we're on red. Gabriel is in the lead here. Dilemma has kind of just been playing slowly behind so far in this series. kind of overtook in game one and then got the win there, but kind of in a similar spot here. And Gabriel going to end that one here. Red skip, and then the triple skips into the blue here, so able to get the win on that one. That's going to be an important one to get because that would have sucked for Gabriel if he could not get the win on that one there. Scoreboard is not loading. Oh wait, no, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Never mind. But yeah, able to get the win here, 940 on that one. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking that might have been what Dylan was doing. He maybe wanted to try to bait that power play usage there. Didn't quite get the win, but um Gabriel's not gonna have it the rest of the series. Gonna have to ask him. We're gonna have to ask him that, but um yeah, that was a kind of a interesting game that had some developments after that one there. Okay, so then he drew the blue 2 from power play, not the green +2. I thought he drew the green +2. I guess not. Yeah, let's see what Gabriel has to
Yeah,
say.
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't blame the power play. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't blame the power play here, and I mean Gabriel ultimately walked away with the win there. I think it got a little potentially dicey at points in terms of how decisively that power play may have actually functioned, and how the game went. But I do think at the moment right now, Dilemma's kind of walking away triumphant here because now it's 1-1 and Dilemma keeps the power play in hand whereas Gabriel used it. So it could very well lead to be a decisive factor down the road in this game.
All right, let's read some quick comments here. No, it sounded like a bad play. We did not want to risk him having a 5-backer to win again. Decided to use it, and I can think we can run the rest of the series without it. You won, that's all that matters. It's not a sweep again. Yeah, I think that's the thing for Gabriel. I mean, ultimately, when you use a defensive power play, you kind of want to make sure you get that game win. Because, I mean, if you use power play in a game and don't get the game win, that's definitely not going to be great. Because ultimately, that's going to be burned. Because kind of when you have that power play, the idea is trying to use it to get the win in some sort of way, whether it's just like the straightforward manner of getting an extra turn to close out the game, or maybe just kind of getting some sort of path to block the opponent and then get a finish of your own. But um, again, that kind of works out for Gabriel here. We go to game three. He's gonna go for 10 cards on this one. We'll see who can get the 2-1 lead here. As we're gonna start up on 10 with the yellow 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, still another more towards the middle start here, but yeah, notably, I will say is at the same time that while Gabriel did use the power play, it's 1-1 now coming out of Dilemma's two picks. So, the advantage isn't necessarily ginormous, but having that control at the start there. And speaking of control at the start, what a way to take it with a +6 on a triple play right at the out the gate there. But
Yeah, so that's again, that's kind of gonna fall back with how the series has played out so far, with Gabriel kind of having the lead for a good chunk of this, and then kind of when it gets to the end game, things get pretty close. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. This is gonna be a 9-card advantage.
yeah, I mean, Gabriel definitely playing a more upfront and like offensive game. Just playing a lot of those cards or those ammo cards as soon as possible. Um, whereas, Dilemma tends to hold on for a little bit longer. So I think that's kind of where it tends to balance out, but it's kind of going to come down to it, I think, in some of these games where maybe things run a little bit faster than Dilemma expected, or at the same time, things could move a little bit too slow for Gabriel, and things will run out and won't have enough ammo to move forward with.
Alright. Um, yeah, Dilemma is trying to say the forfeit, which is not gonna happen here. Um, especially in game three. But
It never hurt to try, I suppose.
yeah, I mean, if the opponent convinces you to forfeit, I think we probably wouldn't allow it if it's like pressuring. But like if you just kind of do that, that's like I don't know what's going on. If there's some kind of like bribe happening, might have to
Yeah.
look into it. But
Going to have to look into the dark corners and alleyways of MRE UNO. But
yeah, that's
not
not good. That's
today.
not.
No forfeits.
All right. Well, gonna keep going on green here. Scar's trying
Oh,
to take out the competition here.
well, I think that's Scar's trying to take over the competition. If that's true.
All right. Well, Dilemma actually tried to switch to yellow, but Gabriel gonna go with the wild back into green. Dilemma does have 14 cards though, so I would expect him to have some sort of play here, especially with Gabriel low. I could see some ammo coming out potentially, or maybe just keeping it cool still. Yeah, just gonna keep it cool still.
Yeah, I think the thing is about having an opponent who plays a lot of their ammo up front like this is, the risk of them down at lower card counts really starts to get mitigated when you start to kind of be like, well, what are they really holding on to if they've already played two of their draw twos, if they've already played a reverse here. So it's kind of the trade-off there of, you know, playing more offensively is that your hand is really much more visible in terms of what you may be holding on to, and how powerful your remaining hand may be.
Well, Dilemma had the draw on that green on 13 cards, and it's going to continue the drawing. This is not looking good. Gabriel going to go for the finish, and he will get it 4-14. And I mean, Gabriel just kind of ran away with that one after the +6. Dilemma really did not do a whole lot there. I'm wondering if that was being too conservative, or if he just straight up didn't have anything. But Gabriel going to go up 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, two draw twos, a reverse, two wilds, and a draw four. That's gonna be pretty decisive. Just gonna say half the hand, even.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if Dilemma was trying to hold on and maybe thought Gabriel wouldn't have that finish. Doesn't, yeah, no, it doesn't seem like he had much there. Might have been a bunch of numbers and maybe like a few reverse skips on different cards, but yeah, not a whole lot to say there. Gabriel gonna get the plan A on that one and gonna go to game four with the OG start.
Yeah, nothing extreme from either of these players so far. Our range so far is just 7 to 12, which, is about two-thirds of our full range. But still curious to see if a full or a no send will be sent out.
All right, well, yellow one to start with from Gabriel here. For Dilemma, really gonna look to try and um get something going here. Would not like to go down 3-1. What still has the power play advantage, but being down 3-1 not going to be ideal. And +2 right off the bat here, so that throws Gabriel back to 8 and 11 down to 5.
Yeah, could be low on yellow count there. Um, could be a lot of things, honestly. After that last game, maybe just wanting to push Gabriel back a little bit further. But it is looking like that was probably just all there was to see from the lemon on yellow.
We're tied here with the wild blue for Dilemon. Worst case scenario there is if he top decks a yellow from that draw. But we'll see. Gonna just play with blue for now. I would not be surprised if Gabriel did. No, Gabriel with a +2, so throws more cards to Dilemon. A little bit of payback from before.
Yeah, and now kind of with that, it's really balanced out what Deleven did, and now it's just that draw kind of putting Deleven behind there a couple cards.
Alright, well, blue 3 here. Looking to keep going on blue. Gabriel to get things going. Another double play here, and he's gone from 6 cards to 4 cards, now 2 cards.
Yeah, I mean, this could very well just be another draw 4 out here. I mean, can't really say much more on a game like that, just lining up for you.
We'll see what the lemon does here. If he has something, if he uses it, he's going to switch the red. Takes a bit of a risk there. Puzzle Dan pops in. Yeah, I mean, if this is a +4, it's not really going to matter there. No has a crossover into blue.
Oh, had a self ditto to block anything,
I
and
don't.
I I I expect this last card to either be a wild or to be a blue.
The lemon draws. No, Gabriel draws as well. Does not
Does
have the
not have
finish.
it.
So Gabriel going to have to find a top deck here.
Yeah, I'm now pretty curious what that last card could be. I mean, green hasn't been touched at all this game, so that could be what one of these players is looking for. But for now, it is Draw City yet again.
And top deck blue 2 here. For Gabriel, he's going to be the biggest proponent of getting out of this blue here. Does have the lead. And he will have it with the switch to green. Green 5.
We'll play off it. Back
And
down to 2 for Gabriel here.
just kind of running it down on the green.
It
Had the
was the
green
2.
2, I don't know. Okay. Directly mentions that, so the rest of these would have been cards picked up on Draw City. Yeah, what does the lemon have though here?
Yeah, I wonder if we're thinking about potentially using some ammo or even just a switch here. Or we could very well just be carefully calculating our
Ooh.
optimal play here, but really it's just going to be a chain of 3 out into yellow, where Gabriel very well could be out on. Has an 8 though, and is putting the lemon in check.
It's gonna be a I mean, it depends on what the lemon has here. It could be a tough call, it could be an easy call if he has to win. But yellow 4, gonna run the yellow. And it works
Doesn't
out.
have it.
Gabriel draws. Can the lemon get the Uno?
Could the lemon have the finish? Only 2 cards for both of these players now, and they're both out.
Top deck yellow 6.
Looking like a little bit more
Dilemma
typing.
draws.
Oh, just a draw.
Alright. No finish from Gabriel there. He's really kind of looking for the number switch on that one. Can he keep these
Yeah, the
top decks
number
going? Not yet.
switch. I was gonna say, or just a wild here. I mean, anything to kind of get out of this yellow sort of sinkhole we found ourselves in.
Alright, keeps the draws going. And we're getting close to 7 minutes in this one. Not necessarily a long game per se, but I mean, we saw how the first two games went decently long, 16 minutes for game one, but then game four was only about 4 minutes. So let me get to switch the red though.
Yeah, I mean, they all do kind of add up, especially when, you think about so many of those matches that just have, even just a couple games that really run out in less than 2 minutes. Uh,
Oh my God, what in the world?
oh boy.
So actually, Gabriel did get a top deck +4 there, but he switched it to red. I mean, that would have been fatal no matter what. I mean, wow. So Gabriel able to get that one. That was yeah, it was a top deck there to win that one, but technically didn't need it either way.
Yeah, I mean, and this ammo deficit's looking pretty rough for Lemon here. You know, 5 behind on wilds, 2 behind on draw fours, 3 behind on draw twos, 4 behind on reverses, only ahead 1 on skips, and could have potentially had some ammo hidden behind those losses, but really just not what you're looking for from the deck here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at this for Lemon. I mean, that +4 came in game one. I'm pretty sure. Other than that, I mean, it's just kind of not gone his way on the cards here. Um, So, yeah, unfortunately for Lemon, it's kind of been throwing himself into a tough spot here. But I mean, he's made these deficits up before, and he does have the call for Game Five. Red six the whole time from yellow six being played. So
Wow. Just and I mean, with that run out, that's death. No matter what step you throw that red 6, that is death.
yeah, because I mean, Gabriel just kept drawing the cards to kind of make that red switch fatal, and then the +4 just kind of officially ended it. Yeah, so Lemon looking to really trying to make this comeback here, but it's gonna need some sort of switch on the cards here to get something started. I'm gonna go for the full send here, having faith in the high tier.
Yeah, I mean, you really kind of hope that if you're falling behind on ammo here, that maybe with some more cards you can kind of mitigate that. Though at the same time, more cards for you could mean more ammo for your opponent. Just a yellow 5 to start. We'll have to see if Lemon likes it or not.
I mean, he did say "sigh" at the start of the game. I don't know if that was in reference to
Yeah,
the cards though. It could be either. I'm not really sure.
could have been the conversation before the game as well, but we'll wait to see if that sigh really could have been if from bad cards here. But for now, we're just gonna play a yellow 0.
All right. Yeah, gonna start with a calmer start here on the yellow. Gabriel at match point here.
Already gonna switch off to green. Perhaps Lemon wanting to just take more control over the games here early on, or could just be out of yellow early again, which really not what you want to see if that's the case.
All right, green skip, green seven. So throws a skip in the middle of the sevens there. But that also will give Gabriel the lead. Again, Gabriel does not have power play. Lemon does, so Lemon looking to kind of manage that power play advantage, whether he holds on to it or uses it earlier to try to keep the game alive.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, he, yeah, just has not really had many good opportunities to take advantage of that power play. Maybe one or two earlier on when, both players were down low, but and just didn't take advantage of it, thinking there'd be a better time later. But yeah, not much of a better time than your opponent being at match point.
Just kind of rolling in the green for the moment. No big moves yet.
Eh,
But yeah, that's kind of how these starts
So,
sometimes go in the full send or even high tier in general. But oh man, Dilemma's gonna draw on green here with 11 cards.
wow, yeah, I mean, can only do so much with each of those, colors. There's, max an average of four, just under four even of, that you can have of each color. So you are going to run out somewhere first eventually. But does have the switch off to red 2 here, and Gabriel will play on that anyway.
Yeah, on his own card as well. So maybe that could bring a bit of good luck to him.
See, one can only hope.
Again, Lemon had to make a reverse sweep to make it to this point here. Is going to be looking to try to keep himself alive and make it to his second consecutive regional final. But is currently a little bit behind here at the moment. He's going to have to do some work to try and get it, but that could help as Gabriel runs out on red.
I'd say, yeah, not, I was gonna say, pretty great time for an ice here. Now, last few times that there was an ice on Gabriel, Lemon seemed to be out of cards at either the same time or switched. So I have to see if Gabriel does get iced for a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I think well, we've seen Dilemma before with the draw. Sometimes he likes to just switch off the color right away. So we'll see if that happens again. It does happen again.
Yep. And I mean, I think this is the third time this series, and I really am doubtful that he ran out of cards the same exact time every single time. So I expect I'm starting to think this is a planned strategy, with a pattern to it. And it's gonna get punished pretty quick with that draw too.
Yeah, so now back to 11 again here. Might be able to run the yellow again, but not quite going the way Dylan was hoping for with that. I think made the move to try to kind of hold on to the disadvantage on red and did not fare well for the moment, but again, still a lot of cards left to be played as we gotta switch to blue now. Also, just got a 24-hour reminder for the stream tomorrow. That'll be in 24 hours. That'll be
Switch
Scars
back to
for
yellow.
Syntax.
Which notably, Lemon did switch off of yellow very fast early on. So I am wondering, and has switched off again after that yellow 4. I am wondering what the status is on our yellow cards here.
He does have some more yellow. I thought that would have been disastrous if he had to draw again on the yellow now.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. That would have been, yeah, very scary, to say the least.
Yeah, but Gabriel's still running it down here. Only one draw so far in this game. Dilemma is now
Oh
Dilemma's
boy.
out on yellow.
Uh, I think we're speaking too soon here.
This isn't looking great for Dilemma here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last color that, hasn't really been touched too much here. Lemon is implied to be out on green and yellow and even potentially red here. So you really hope to see something good come out of this and not Gabriel just running out. But that seems more than possible here as well.
Alright. Still on blue here. Gabriel is down to 3. Dilemma has 9. I think for Dilemma, gotta get to the point where he's starting to consider um, any potential moves here. Try and keep this game going, whether it be some ammo usage or even the power play if he has to.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, because if you don't do that, you're really you're only hoping on a couple things, and it's that Gabriel still had some greens when Dilemon switched off, or that Gabriel managed to top deck a red before he switched to yellow. Either way, it's still looking a little. It's looking like it's going to be close.
Switch the green here. Green
Just
and
the one
red seem
color
like to be the colors that he wants here, but Gabriel's gonna draw.
I was gonna say actually happened to run out when Dilemon switched. That was still an open card before that draw there happened. So that absolutely could have been disastrous, but luckily.
And there's the red,
Let's
so
switch to red. Yeah, and I think, yep, that's how Dilemon was planning to pivot over and is absolutely going to just take advantage of this ice out here.
I think he's got to run on this one. I don't think he could really afford to kind of play around with the colors here. Yeah, he's gonna run on red here. So I mean, a draw on
Yeah,
green and then a draw on
absolutely.
red is gonna be big for Dilemma here to try to bring this back. Just gotta make sure he plays with the right numbers.
Yeah, that draw on green because you don't have complete information that Gabriel's out on green there. So it really was the make or break there before switching off to the red one. And now for I think the first time in this game, Dilemma's gonna have the lead. Or at least
Taking
one
a
of the
minute.
first times.
Ooh, and a +4 blue reverse going on a bit of a run here. Maybe looking for a finish. Yellow skip down to 2.
And the cards one at a time and can't be blocked this time. Gabriel doesn't have that power play to stop. Has the red skip
And
and
that's
the red
it.
six to finish.
All right, so Dilemma gets one back here, 10 minutes and 2 seconds on that one, and doesn't use the power play in that one. Maybe something swinging in Dilemma's favor here potentially, and I mean for Gabriel, he's got to be concerned here because this could be his 4th consecutive Game 7 here if Dilemma's able to get another one on the board.
Yeah, agreed with what Nick said there. That green switch really was the defining moment there that decided, especially when you had a clean switch over with that blue reverse. Um, but yeah, Lemon made the choice. It worked out just fine, and I mean, still has the power play in hand and is only one game behind here. Actually, it looks based on what Gabriel's saying there. Not only did that was that green one the vital play to be able to switch over to red, but it actually blocked Gabriel from the out even. So really, just was exactly yeah was what changed the game there and saved the Lemons' chance at staying in for the regional finals.
So yeah, I mean that was a very risky play there from Dilemma, but I mean sometimes in those spots you got to make those risks, and it ultimately does pay off because I'm not sure the +4 would have really lined him up to get that win there. And I mean, Gabriel mentioned if he didn't play the green one, he would have won. So um, yeah, that's big for Dilemma to kind of swing um the momentum on that. So
Yeah, and now the question is, will that momentum keep rolling, and will the Lemon come back to win the whole thing and make it to the regional finals for the second time in a row?
We'll see, but gonna have to make it through game 6. Gabriel with the call. I don't think the game wouldn't have ended because I think Dilemma, I'm pretty sure, posted his hand after that game. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he just said the power play would have gotten him the blue. Otherwise, he would have been stuck on the yellow. Yeah, with a yellow 2 and a green draw 2, and would have been iced.
yeah, that's
Yep,
kind of what I mentioned. He
and
was trying to get the power play there, but anyways, yellow
confirming it.
2. I think it's interesting that he said that now, because I'm wondering if Gabriel will try to do that at some point also. And when you're up with match point, that's definitely more where it could be more effective. I'm trying to bait it. But yeah, I mean, Gabriel going 11th for game 6. I mean, he's 1 on 10 and 12. I think this middle tier has just kind of been good to him so far in this series, so he's going to try to stay around there.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, Lemon's wins were on 9, which is also kind of right in the center of all of Gabriel's wins, but that 15 kind of stands out, and you really want to go, okay, maybe I bring it down a little. Gonna just play a yellow 4 there to get things started. Lemon is gonna immediately switch to green here.
Yeah, I think Lemon is definitely going to have some moves here. I mean, we saw from game 5 here, definitely willing to take some risks with the spot he's in. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more here. Double play from Gabriel to take the lead outright.
I feel like I've seen this exact start like 3 times this game of it starts on yellow, Lemon immediately switches off, Gabriel fires off a double play. It's feeling a little too familiar.
Yeah, I'll mention this also. I don't think there's been a game so far where it was Lemon who had like an outright lead at the start. I think actually no, game 5 he might game 4 he
I
might
was
have had
gonna
a slight
say
lead, but
game 3, I think he took a lead with that early draw too, but it immediately got countered right back. So I think that is the closest we had to a quote unquote outright lead on a game.
yeah, but running at the green for now. +2, so we'll actually take the lead with that one there.
A little bit prophetic of us almost, but keeps it on that green 3. I do feel like I noticed a couple times where DeLemon just kind of on a color he was iced on, playing that ammo card right before the last card, which I do think is common for people. If you have an
Oh man.
ammo card that really doesn't connect, you keep it there. But speaking of ammo cards that do connect, that's going to be a 4 chain from Gabriel with a draw 2 to fire back with. And I don't think Lemon's got that lead anymore.
He does not, and I mean, again, Lemon tries to take the lead and then just gets it snatched right away from him.
Yeah, DeLemon lead, I hardly knew ye. I feel like that is the subtitle of this entire match so far. Of just Gabriel is just that aggressive player. Is gonna do everything possible to get ahead and have the card advantage over your opponent. Whereas Lemon usually will hold it off. Not this game though. Playing off another ammo card on double play. I'm kind of wondering if it's the cards are just not really lining up well for Lemon to have a big finish with.
Well, Gabriel's down to 3 here.
if if I'm Lemon here and I don't have anything to immediately fire back some cards with, I feel like I start to think about what my options are and if I need to use this power play.
Blue 1, Gabriel out here. It's gonna be another time. It's gonna be another time where Gabriel gets down really low, and Delenn plays a 1 to force a draw. This one just stays on the color though, and it's gonna be a double draw.
Yeah, I mean, in Lemon's position, yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. Most likely here, because I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, you play that one, you ice your opponent, and then you get to keep going. But that absolutely could have been worst world. You play that one, your opponent has a three bagger, and your game's over, and you didn't even get to use your power play. But yeah, both of these players back backing their way up to 10 here slowly. Dilemon is there. Gabriel's a couple cards away, but does find the red one to get out.
Yeah, I think for if anyone was gonna push the issue on that one to get out of there, would have been Gabriel with the lead here. So gonna go in the red
Absolutely.
now. So I'm gonna take it a second to type. Gonna just be a red 5. I said green 5. I don't know why. Another double play from Gabriel here. Had a few of these in these games so far.
Yeah, again, just being very upfront with those cards. Um, and I do think to some extent that is kind of, I almost wonder punishing at this point because I feel like there's a couple of those that could have chained and been used to Gabriel's advantage, where they weren't. However, I mean, Gabriel still has that commanding lead of 4 cards ahead and could very well be making his way down to Uno and even a victory here.
Dylan plays the red 9 here. I will mention, I think the pace since game 1 has kind of actually picked up a little bit, which may have worked in Gabriel's favor here. Gabriel down to 3 again on the red 2.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that this game and the one before it, I almost wonder if, after being put in check like this, Lemon's been a little bit nervous and has been playing a bit more rapidly because of that. Whereas I feel like in games where Lemon has a bit more control, he can tend to kind of force the issue of time, and really kind of take his and just make sure he's doing exactly what he wants. Whereas here, I feel like maybe the hands are just a little more straightforward and it's just working out like that. But
Yeah,
I'm not
that switch is
sure
not really
here.
going to be ideal for Dilemon here because that's going to put him in a big um, unknown as Gabriel is now down to 2, and he's really going to have to think through this one.
Yeah, I mean, just really unlucky that punishing your double red nines there with using the first one to go out on red, most likely go out on red there, and the second one to switch. And unless we have a power card, Gabriel could just go out here, and that could be it. I really think this is where Lemon's probably having a big long think about, do I use this power play right now, or do I try and do something else to get out of this?
We shall see. I need to do something real quick. I'm gonna just adjust how I do this. I'm gonna switch to my phone here. That way I can still commentate. Yeah, okay, it's only gonna power play.
Despite despite Lemon going for it there, just really shutting out, getting shut out by these card draws and the ammo.
Yeah, so I mean, Dilemma had the right idea for the power play there. Unfortunately, with the way that was set up, I don't know if it would have been the +2 that was drawn or the yellow 8. I mean, got unlucky on the draw there, but I mean, it really would have been a tough spot no matter what there. So Gabriel just kind of had the card line up there to finish that one out, and even the power play was not gonna really be able to do much to stop that. But Gabriel gonna move on here, make it to the regional finals here, the Baiman 8. We'll get a quick word from him here. Gabriel, I mean, when you first time on something that you put back, it's a lot of that. The first time I said we actually took the film to 6, so it means that I'm doing this one. It means to continue the next game. But the breakout one and was being able to draw them here, how to put this thing together, yeah, I mean, you just got the first mention on that one from 3-2-3-1-5. I think after game one there, Dilemma was just kind of trying to fight through. Gabriel was able to kind of get cards lined up and executed pretty well on them. to get the job done. But yeah, I mean, for Delemon, I think still a good series and good tournament overall. I mean, he's still up to 6 wins. There's very few people who are even at like 3 wins. So this is still a good showing from Delemon nonetheless. It obviously did not end the way he was hoping for here. And Gabriel gets a huge win out of this overall. But I think in terms of looking at the overall season long picture, Gabriel is. And I mean, in general, I'm really liking um the position that he's in at the moment because to kind of get a big win on one of these players who has had such a good start and is going to be higher up in the rankings as the season goes along. It's going to go a long way for Gabriel here, and now he's going to have a matchup with Cage here in the regional final. So looking to potentially keep it going and make it to the final four. All
Yeah,
right.
actually,
Yep. Go ahead.
with that, notably, Age, I believe, is our last remaining player from last season's league.
Could have been a matchup between two of those players, but yeah, now it is just Cage left to be a repeat regional finalist.
Cage is going to go to the regional finals here due to the unfortunate circumstances. So, Cage makes back-to-back regional finals, but we'll be facing Gabriel. Cage looking for some redemption here. Won't have the updated bracket right away. I have to go do something real quick, so I'm going to actually end the stream here. It's kind of like an ongoing thing. Spoiler alert: I'm trying to make dinner, so I'm kind of having to weave this back and forth towards the end of this. But gonna wrap this one up here. Echo, thanks for co-commentating this one. Well, thank the players for coming in and have a good series. Scars for refing and everyone who came out to watch. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. Going to be continuing the action later tonight at 10 p.m. We have 2 more streams on the docket in the evening. I'm going to have Rune versus Sam at 10 p.m. to start it off, and then wrapping up the evening. Probably right after that one is going to be James and 6. So it's going to be 3 streams in one day, and then the 4th stream of the round will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. You don't want to miss it, but until then, I'm G-Man. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. We are going to be ending this one here. We will see you later tonight for some more MRE UNO. But until then, take care and have a great day, everyone.